Hey, yeah, what's up? The disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, anti-cop all day, and everybody with them, yeah. So this video right here is gonna be something I was laying around thinking about. It was a quote that Tupac's mother said, and you know, I just wanted to release this video based on what she said. Um, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So Tupac said in an interview, my mother always told me don't ever just volunteer yourself to our people because they will use you. That's what they do. I'm gonna read it again. Tupac said in an interview, my mother always told me don't ever just volunteer yourself to our people because they will use you. That's what they do. Now, this is why I like follow Tupac, because it's not just about the thug life. It's not just about shooting guns and all that and all the stuff, kicking up dust. It's about the knowledge and information that he kicked. You know what I mean? And right here is a perfect example. His mother was a Black Panther, for people that don't know. So that's more dedicated to, I guess you could say, the African American community more than anybody else. That's more dedicated. So for someone like that to say that, that's facts. That's not obviously not a person that's a sellout. That's a person that is observing people for who they are and observing the community for how they move. You know what I'm saying? And she basically told Pop, don't ever volunteer yourself to our people because they will use you. That's what they do. Now, what she says holds more credibility, hold just as much credibility as your favorite black leader. What she said holds credibility as much as anybody that's rapping, anybody talking about something positive. Because, like I said, the woman was a Black Panther. So that holds way more credibility than half of you guys that claim to be looking out for black people. She said it plain in plain English, you know what I'm saying? Don't just volunteer your people, volunteer yourself to our people meaning African Americans. Don't just volunteer yourself to them because they will use you. You know what I'm saying? So this is what white people don't know that's been said. You know, you like to quote people, you like to come into the community and try to be super pro black and not knowing all the things that goes on. You know what I'm saying? So what you do is you join to certain black people that have zero tolerance for anything said. That's what the white people think. They think that's the realest. The realest is what Tupac mother said. That's an example of the realest. Don't volunteer yourself to our people because they will use you. And this is a woman that's a Black Panther, like I said, by the way. And she made it clear. You can't change it. You can't. It's no misinterpretation of that. She said it in plain English, and that's how I like people to say stuff. She said it in plain English. Don't just volunteer yourself. Just say you're gonna do something. Just give yourself for no fee or no price or nothing. You just give yourself over, and you'll just be taken advantage of. And basically, man, that's like that goes hand in hand too with my life particularly, you know, because people can see my potential and talents and they only think about themselves. You know, you're not thinking about me, you're not thinking about my future, you're not thinking about my life, you're not thinking about, all you're doing is thinking about yourself. All you're doing is thinking about what you can get for yourself. That's using people, just like his mother, Tupac's mother said, just like Afeni Shakur said, you know, that's using people. You looking at what you can get. You don't care nothing about my life. It's the same thing. It's an American thing too. You look at USA, what that spells. User. Look at the abbreviation, USA. If that was a word, user, that's what it would be. Boom. USA, user. If that was a word, the closest word it would be, looking at those three letters, pronouncing it would be user. Okay? These people like to utilize you like a wild horse. Now, white people, what they do, that's the black part. What African Americans do. You volunteer yourself, trying to be nice and sweet, trying to help, trying to get in when you fit in, trying to trying to help, all that. You'll be used. And that means you won't come out with much. You won't have much. You won't get much out the situation. And you'll see everybody just turn their back and walk away once you realize you ain't got nothing. Once you realize you ain't got nothing, then everybody start walking away. Because they realize you ain't got nothing. But white people, what they do is they look at you based on their leaders. Their leaders, and what their leaders do, they take and look at you like a wild horse that they could put their saddle on. Like, ooh, look at that good horse. It got potential. Let's do something with that horse. And they look at black people, they look at any people like some wild horse that you can put a saddle on, that you can just utilize for your own purposes. And I've already made a video about it. I'm not a wild horse to utilize for your own purposes. You know what I'm saying? You come to me like a man, you come to me like a woman. You ain't gonna come to me sideways, like you gonna just slide by me and you got this whole thing going on. You're gonna be mistaken. Somebody gonna die and it ain't gonna be me. You put that together. I don't play games, man. So all the little games and all the stuff you think you got going, I'm not gonna be no king, I'm not gonna be no president, I'm not gonna let you use me. Just like Tupac'S mom said, you just using people. You just using people to get your country back together. It ain't gonna work. I don't care if your country ever get back together. That's not my problem. That is not my problem. So I'm sorry for you, because that's the only thing you're focused on. If you was focused on me, you would have already gave me some money. You know what I'm saying? You would have already pulled me out of a roach-infested apartment. You know what I'm saying? So this is obviously about you, and I obviously don't care. I'm just saying. But I just want people to know what Tupac's mom said. I think that's a very important soundbite, because it's one thing for me to have an opinion, and you might not respect my opinion, but I bet you're gonna respect that. I know you'll respect that. I know, because you hold her opinions and her words in high esteem. A lot of you hold Tupac Shakur words in high esteem. So I know you're gonna I know you will hold that in high esteem. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. That's what she said about y'all, African Americans, referring to African Americans. You use people. That's what she said. She said that's what they do. On top of saying they use people, then she came behind and said that's what you do. Like that's your position. that's a secondary occupation. And I've just never been that guy, you know what I'm saying? I go head to head with anybody. One thing you would never see me do is sit and fold, you know what I'm saying? I go head to head with anybody. You're not gonna see me fold, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is, And I'm just glad that she said that, because what happens is what we're coming up to in this day and time, being the last days, people are in denial about many things. And one thing they're in denial about, there are big things they're in denial about. One of them is the fall of America. It's no way this country is going to come back, because the world ain't going to come back, because in order for it to come all back, that means America has to now have a whole change of heart and care about the whole world and clean the whole world with vaccines and follow up with all different other type of things. This country doesn't have it in them to do that. So you might clean up this country, but all the other countries are not going to be cleaned up. They're not going to put forth the full effort to do that. And it's going to take this country because of the resources that they have. It's going to. And, so that being said, man, this country, because the whole world is not going to be free from COVID, this country is never going to be free from COVID. As soon as they think they're free, someone else is going to come over here. As soon as they think they're free from it, someone else is going to invite a new strain even of COVID. You know what I'm saying? So this is a means of an end. This is where America's in denial at. They're in denial about that. They just think that we're going to be able to live with it. How are you going to be able to live with something you're dying from? That doesn't even make sense. That's like almost an oxymoron. How are you going to live with something that you're dying from? Eventually, they will all be dead. You can't live with something you die from. That's an oxymoron. Okay, we're going to live with something that we're dying from. It's not going to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, as you remember, when this virus first broke out, they didn't even believe it was real. Look at Americans, man. I mean, pay attention to them, because you can't look to them to have a pure or accurate, precise perspective on things, because they'll sit up and look at something and say it ain't real. They see people, even while people were dying. I heard somebody say it, even in the summertime in 2020, when we was well aware that people were dying from this, people were still believing it wasn't real. People were still believing it wasn't real. How in the world you see people dying and you don't believe it's real? So you got to realize what kind of country you live in. You live in a country where people can see people dying and don't think it's real. They became fantasy-like. A lot of them, they live in an altered reality. The reality that they pick, whatever reality they pick, that's what they live in to deal with the real reality. So they might smoke mad weed. That's like living in an altered reality, because you don't want to live in this reality. It's one thing, I'm not saying I don't condone it, but it's one thing for people to take vacations and smoke weed, so to speak, from reality. They take vacations from reality. And it's one thing to be a weed smoker that's just trying to escape the reality that you live in. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to escape this reality. So, but people try to, and that's why they do a lot of the things they do today. The weed, the alcohol, the pills, they're all altered realities that the community, that the government allows, so that people won't go crazy and uprise. So long as they smoking a blunt, long as they smoking a cigarette, long as they drinking, and long as they taking pills, they ain't gonna uprise. You know what I'm saying? Because they're living in an altered reality, and they don't have to deal with the reality that they're living in. Therefore, why would you uprise when you're actually in an intoxicated, altered reality? You're not in the world though. So you're not gonna be as mad. You're not gonna uprise. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't have nothing, you were sober, then you'd be like me. You know what I'm saying? You would realize what's going on. You're not deceived by the stuff that's going on, and you'll be angered by the reality that's around you. You know what I'm saying? When you got 40 states that allow adults to have sex with children, and then they try to lock people up for being sex offenders, what they feel is sex offenders. But you got 40 states that allow adults to have sex with children. You have no minimum age in 12 states, which is a quarter of this country, that allows no minimum age, which means a man can marry any age as low as 5 years old if he wants to. Okay, so when you're sober, then you can see these things, and then you'll move to action. You know, when you high all the time, you can't get angry. You can't get angry. You can't even get halfway out the house. You're too high. You know what I'm saying? That kind of people they're neutralized. You too high. You can't even get out the house. You too drunk. You can't even get down 2 blocks. You too drunk. It's too laborious for you to do it. Well, I could walk miles and miles and miles because I'm sober. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing for people to say they're soldiers. It's one thing to really be soldiers, man. And there's no way you can be a soldier when you're putting extra weights on your physical body and in your mind. You can't be a soldier because you need your faculties to pay attention to what's really going on. You need all your faculties to know exactly how things are happening as opposed to the interpretations of things that they're giving you. If you high and you're drunk, you're gonna listen to other high and drunk people. That's what you're gonna do. And those other high and drunk people, they listen to someone else, and it's all a warped, twisted way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? You listen to sober-minded people that don't get high, that don't drink, that ain't messing with all these people. They have a clear perspective because they have allowed their true mind to work in its full capacity according to its surroundings. So now you're sensing things for what they really are. Now you're seeing things because they don't have no manipulation. They don't have nothing to manipulate you with. You don't need to get high. You don't need this country for money. You don't need this country for nothing. So they don't have no manipulation tools. So you're not going to be biased in your perspective. Long as you're getting money in America, you're going to be biased. You're going to be biased. If you're getting big money, you're going to be biased because you're going to feel like that's subconsciously that's daddy. The government is daddy. You know what I'm saying? These people are daddy. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be like a trick, like, you know what I'm saying, like a prostitute. America's daddy, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be biased when somebody tell you about this country, because when they pass out them stimulus checks, that's daddy, you know what I'm saying? Giving you the money that you need to pacify you, you know what I'm saying? To make you feel like, you know, he's on your side or she's on your side. And really, those are all tools, especially money, to make you biased. That's another tool they use. That's why they used it during the COVID-19, because if they ain't give you no stimulus money, y'all might have uprised. Y'all might have uprised because all that tension and all this going, you ain't know what was going on. You didn't know what the world held. You didn't know where the world was going to go, man. A lot of people would have just uprised. So they had to throw out them stimulus checks in the Donald Trump administration. You know, he don't like, man, come on, they ain't even his style. You know what I'm saying? He did that to stop y'all and pacify y'all from rising up. That's what they do. So money ain't nothing but a tool. Money ain't nothing but a tool to stop people from rising up. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't getting money, you speak your mind. When you poor, you can speak from an honest place. When you poor, you can speak the truth. But when you rich, you're going to close your mouth. You're going to close your mouth because you think about daddy give you that money. You can't say nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of people is. That's why you notice all these rich people, they ain't got nothing to say because that's daddy. Get broke and get poor and have no bias motives. Then you're gonna tell the truth. They can't manipulate me because now money has been out of my system for so long. You can't manipulate me with it. You can't manipulate me with money. I grew up and was as a man without it. So now my morals and my virtues are so strong, you can't manipulate me with it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, man, that's why the Bible says it's harder for a rich man to enter into heaven than a camel to go to the eye of a needle. Because you're gonna think about your comforts. You're gonna think about the things that you're accustomed to having. You're gonna think about the things that you're accustomed to doing, and you would rather just. Some people would rather die than not to have things. You know, one thing a man taught me when I was working with him, he said, "Man, a white man would kill himself if he was working our jobs." That's what he told me. He said a white man would kill himself if he was doing the jobs we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Because so. You gotta realize, man, like I said, I got sound bites from different people here and there all over, man, you know, that form my opinion. You know, another thing that I think that same man told me too, he was like, and this is no disrespect, but he was like, Mexicans are the new niggas, you know, and what he meant by that is they the new slaves, they the new people to do labor for like no reason, like basically for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the new slaves. You know, that's the new niggas. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be used and they just glad to be here. They just glad to be in America. And I don't know why. That's what Kamala Harris told them. They was like, she said, don't come here. Y'all missed that. She said, don't come here. Straight out. I might put the link where she said that. She just told them not to even come here because it's a war. It's a war going on. It's wars going on. Ain't no need for them to even come here. Because this is all shut down. You know, God is shutting it down and they ain't got no way. All they doing is using telepaths and surveillance and psychic power. Who cares? What can you manifest? That's what we talking about. at the end of the day, what can you manifest? Because all I see is that your country got COVID-19, Omicron, and you're 80 something thousand away from a million deaths from COVID, which is worse than any war that America has ever suffered. You're almost at a million deaths. You're only 80,000 dead bodies away from death, from a million bodies, a million deaths. There's no games being played. You know, I know what circumstances I'm in, but while we in these circumstances, we gotta realize the truth don't change. You know what I'm saying? Karma don't change. Nothing don't change. You know, nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're in these situations, you can't act out and do what you want to do. That's gonna cause more karma on top of more karma. You know what I'm saying? The second thing that America's in denial about, black people are, it's about black people. You know what I'm saying? This country is not, black people are not together. They're not in unity. People are in denial about it. I'm gonna tell you how you know they're in denial. Because they're trying to hold everybody to the standard of treating them right. And none of that, and it's no one else, they're not even doing it themselves. And it's like, why would you hold someone to a standard that you don't see nowhere else? You don't see nobody else loving you, not even your own people. But you holding white people to loving you. When you can look at the whole world and you don't see as far as this whole country, you can look at this whole country and you don't see nobody else loving you. You're killing yourselves, but then you go and you get torches and you witch hunt these white people about whatever, but look around. You're in denial. You're in denial about what's going on. I'm not saying give up, but you're in denial about the real reality of your interaction with humans, period. There's no one that's doing that. There's no one that's loving you. I gotta keep it 100. You look at black people killing each other. Okay, so who else is there? Okay, a secret little group that no one knows about, right? But what is their impact on the society? Where's their impact on people like the everyday black people? So who cares if it's a secret society, a secret community or whatever, some secret movement? Who cares about that? Because it's not impacting anybody. It's not going to. I guarantee you, by the time people try to rise up, all you're gonna have is people killing each other, using each other, trying to. That's why the first black person that would try to do something now, they will be used. They will have to be almost a martyr for black people because they're going to be used. They're going to be misused, abused, and everything else. You think about modern day 20-something-year-olds. You can't think about 40 and 50. That's the present relevant human beings as far as what's going on now are people in their 20s and 30s. Those are relevant people. Okay, so the relevant 20-somethings, black people and 30-somethings, you think you're going to get something done with all these 20-somethings, all these 30-somethings. It's not going to happen, man. You are thinking about 40-somethings and 50-somethings, people like me. See, I'm 40 on the dot. So that's why I'm cut from a different cloth. And that's what people sleep on because they see how young I look. But I'm cut from a different cloth, though. From these, like, everyday, like, relevant people that's connected to what's really going on out here. You know what I'm saying? That's 20-something, that's 30-something. So that being said, look at how they are and look how they move. There's nothing can be done with that. Nothing. And so a lot of people are in denial about that. I'm not in denial about that. Because then what has to happen is there has to be a movement beyond color. That's what's going on. A movement beyond color, beyond black, white. It's about good, righteous, being right, doing good things. Because there's no hope looking to black people and there's no hope looking to white people. That's the conclusion. That's basically what I'm trying to articulate. There is no hope. There is no hope looking into no movements, and people are in denial about it, acting like something is brewing. Nothing is brewing. You still got people being violated. You still, like me, I'm still being violated by black people. How is something brewing? How is a movement brewing? I need my respect before I do anything. That's how I move. I don't move without no respect. You lost your mind. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. You should not be doing anything without your respect. It doesn't make sense. The Bible even says give honor where honor is due. You know what I'm saying? And, they must be tripping. You think I'm going to do something. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I got to have my respect. Then we could talk about something. Then we can even have a conversation. I'm not even going to conversate with somebody that's disrespecting me. What I look like? Conversate with somebody that's disrespecting me. Ain't nothing going to come but more disrespect, right? More conflict. So it's just not even wise to answer, as the Bible says, answer a fool according to their foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So you don't supposed to even answer somebody according to their foolishness. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Bible says. So they got these images in the black community of what they respect and they don't respect. You know what I'm saying? You respect somebody that's, I'm keeping 100, that's super dark skinned, that's super tall, they got super long dreads. That's your ideal of kings and queens. Among you, yeah, that's keep it 100. And everybody else gets a little disrespect, gets this and that. Like, I'm like, I'm more powerful than any image you got. You know what I'm saying? And that's based on my information that I'm revealing to the community that they're not revealing to each other. The American community is not even revealing the stuff I reveal. So how are you higher ranking than me? Explain that. How does that work?